Hey everybody, we are here at the Magic Kingdom, and it's been a few days since all of the announcements that came out of the D23 Parks panel. We were actually traveling over the last few days. We're back in Florida, and we wanted to take a minute to kind of talk about some of the things that are going to be coming to the Disney parks, kind of share some of our thoughts on those. I know a lot of you guys have been wondering what we think about some of these announcements. So in today's video, we're gonna go over almost everything that was announced at D23. The focus is obviously gonna be the Magic Kingdom and Walt Disney World, because we are Florida locals, but we'll touch on a little bit of California things too.
Yeah, they really announced a lot. I was super surprised. I know a lot of people were wondering what they were going to announce, especially with Epic Universe coming next year to Florida. They definitely had to step up their game and announce something big. Of course, they didn't announce like a whole new theme park, but they did announce a lot, and I'm really excited to dive into it today.
Yeah, I think coming into this parks panel, Disney had one job, and that was to at least kind of steal some of the talk around the theme park industry, especially here in Central Florida. And coming out of the last D23 Expo, or the one that occurs every other year, that was at Walt Disney World last year, it was a lot of blue sky, what if we decided to do this? Maybe one day we'll do this. And it kind of rubbed people the wrong way, us included. It just kind of felt like Disney, from a theme parks perspective, didn't really have a clear direction on what the future was going to be and an answer to Universal's Epic Universe. So I think they accomplished what they needed to accomplish in this expo, and that was get people talking about the future of Disney theme parks again. And they did just that, because here we are. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah, and Josh D'Amaro did start out the panel by saying that none of this was blue sky ideas. These are all things that are either in the works currently or are gonna happen.
No, I mean, he said everything that we discuss is currently in active development.
Yes.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean much. All that means is they're starting to kick the wheels on these things. File permits, things like that. There are things, and he did say dirt is moving. Dirt is not moving for a lot of these announcements just yet. So we are definitely cautiously optimistic as it relates to the things that are going to be coming. So without further ado, let's dive into everything that was announced here at Walt Disney World at D23. So since we're here at the Magic Kingdom, I think we have to start with what many would say is probably the most controversial announcement that came. And our opinions on this might actually surprise you. And that is Cars coming to the Magic Kingdom. Now, this was not the first parks announcement that they did during the panel. They announced a lot of other things. And then when they announced that Cars would be coming to a newly reimagined Frontierland, it was like dead silence in the Honda Center.
There was no reaction from the crowd. It didn't seem like people were excited about it. I think a lot of people were confused about it, which initially we both felt confused as well.
Inviting Mayor Lightning McQueen to a reimagined section of Frontierland. We're leaving Radiator Springs behind, and we're heading off into the wilderness with 2 new Cars attractions.
I know automatically I was like, where is this going in Frontierland? Like, there's no room for it.
Well, we have our answer.
We do have some answers now.
So it was either the day after the panel or 2 days after the panel, they announced the concept, they released the concept art, and Tom Sawyer Island and the Rivers of America here at Magic Kingdom are going to be gone. They're going to be filling in the Rivers of America, paving over it, and like, what was it, Counting Crows? No, not the Counting Crows. Who sings that song? They paved paradise, put up a parking lot.
I don't know, I don't remember.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing. They're paving in the Rivers of America, and that's going to be a new Cars land. And kind of a mixed feeling about it. Initially, I hated it. And if I was at that panel, I would have been one of those people that was just dead silent too. But the more that I think about it, the more I'm starting to come around to the idea.
I still have mixed feelings about it, and we'll get into why. But you could go first.
I mean, at first, I was bummed that the Rivers of America is going to be going away. Now, in all honesty, Tom Sawyer Island, I couldn't care less about Tom Sawyer Island. I mean, I can't even tell you the last time that I was out there.
I'll be honest with you guys, I don't think I've ever done Tom Sawyer Island. I don't think I've ever been over there, and I don't think I've ever been on the riverboat either.
As we just hear it, you might hear it in the background.
So I'm not disappointed that either of those are going away per se, because I never do them. I don't think I've ever done them, but I do like the water there. I just like the ambiance of it. I like just walking by. It's pretty to look at. So that I am a little bit upset that it's going away. Not like the island or the boat, but the river itself.
Agreed.
I just think that it's a nice ambiance when you're walking through Frontierland. And, you know, now it's just going to be like a huge paved over area. Of course, they're going to be adding cars and, you know, different things, but that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what I'm the most upset about, is losing the actual river of America. To be honest, the boat, I don't really go on it. It's been many years, probably like 10 years since I've done the boat, the river boat. But I do miss I will miss, I should say, the kinetic energy that brings. And Magic Kingdom doesn't have a lot of landscaping as it relates to a theme park.
Right.
It's not like Animal Kingdom. It's not like other theme parks. So now that you're taking out the main body of water, I am gonna miss that. However, I do really like Cars. I think it's a bit of a stretch to say that Cars fits into the theme of Frontierland. They're expanding beyond what we know Frontierland to be, but I am gonna reserve judgment until it comes out, because I think Cars is gonna be one of those things where if the rides are cool and the land is cool, people are gonna not care about the riverboat and the rivers of America and whatnot. If it's a budget cut version of Cars Land, and we have a Cars Land to compare it to out in California.
Right, which is amazing. They've done such a good job out there. Like, it really feels like you stepped into the movie.
Yeah.
So if we don't get something up to the same standard, I think people will be upset. And I know people are already upset because they have nostalgic ties to Tom Sawyer Island, which we don't necessarily have. I could care less about it, but like Matt,
but the majority of people don't.
Right.
And that just goes. You can see how many people are going to Tom Sawyer Island every day. They take surveys. They know what's going on. They know how many people are getting on those boats. So yes, it stinks for the people that have those nostalgic memories and use it as a quiet place to escape, but it was not used by the majority of park guests.
Right.
And Magic Kingdom needs capacity.
And I think that Cars will draw a lot of people because Cars is huge with, little kids. They love it. But I just don't love that it's in Frontierland per se. I just don't really get, it's definitely a stretch
it's
going to be here. But like Matt said, I will reserve judgment. If it's really cool, I think it's going to be awesome. Yeah. We'll see how it goes.
I do think Cars would have been better suited at Hollywood Studios. But again, I'm going to reserve judgment. The concept art, you can kind of see some different things in there. There's some snow-capped mountains. So Frontierland is going to have a completely different feel to it.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes. Now, kind of leading into that same area, and also confirmed to be coming here to the Magic Kingdom, is Villains Land. I don't know if that's the official name, but that's what everybody's calling it right now, and it's coming.
And now, when we say that Cars Land had zero reaction, Villains Land had a huge reaction at the panel. People are very excited about this. People have been waiting for this. Yeah. And I think Disney had to announce this because they want to also... what's the word I'm looking for? Compete with Dark Universe. Yeah. That's going to be opening at Epic Universe.
This was the answer to Dark Universe.
Yeah. And I'm honestly really excited about it. I think it's going to be awesome. They did say there's going to be 2 attractions. 2 attractions,
one of which, if you look at the concept art, looks like it's a Maleficent-themed roller coaster with inversions.
That's cool.
It's going to be at least from what the concept art is, they could scrap a lot of this. They can scrap all of Villains Land, potentially. We don't know. But at least from the vague concept art that was shown, in the left side, you can see a Maleficent inversion base roller coaster, which would be really cool.
And they did say there is going to be shopping and dining in there as well. Now, they didn't say exactly where this is going to go, but a lot of people are, speculating that it's going to be beyond Big Thunder.
Yep.
I know they talked about that in the last panel, what's beyond Big Thunder, and I think that's where Villains Land is going to go. I think there is going to be a walkway near Haunted Mansion that brings you over there.
Yeah, so you can see that on the concept art on the right-hand side. There's a path that will lead you most likely to what will be Villain's Land. Again, they haven't confirmed this. They haven't even confirmed when construction is going to start. They haven't confirmed when Villain's Land is going to open. And that is kind of the theme with a lot of these announcements. Some of them they did give timelines, which we'll talk about, but Villain's Land does not have a timeline right now. So we'll see. There's a lot of room back there. They can make a pretty sizable land.
Yeah.
And we'll just have to see when that'll be. It's probably going to be 27, 28 or later.
It's going to be a while.
It's going to be a while. So we'll see what happens. But that got a huge reaction. They saved it for the very final announcement of the night.
That was the last
which
thing
I
they
thought was
announced.
smart. Go out with a bang.
Yeah.
And then as far as Magic Kingdom, they announced that we're getting a new nighttime parade.
Yes.
For the first time in a long, long time.
I was really excited about this. I think everybody at the panel was, because this got a big reaction as well. And it is called Disney Starlight.
Yep, Disney Starlight.
And they did, they didn't really show a lot of concept art. I think there was maybe 2 pictures with like a few different characters that you could see and like different floats. But I did see Peter Pan, so that makes me excited. But yeah, I mean, it's been a long time coming. There hasn't been a Magic Kingdom nighttime parade in quite a long time, so I think a lot of people are going to be excited for this.
Yeah, and you don't have to wait that much longer because it will debut in 2025.
Yeah, so next year.
Sometime next year. Again, they didn't give a time frame. We don't know if it's early. It could be in December, for all we know, but it will be in 2025. So those are the 3 big announcements for Magic Kingdom. And again, Cars was a complete surprise. Villains, they kind of
had an idea.
They hinted at Villains at the last D23 event, but Cars came out of left field. Nobody was expecting that. And then the nighttime parade was something that a lot of people were expecting as well. So good things coming to Magic Kingdom overall. Again, I know a lot of people have their own thoughts on the Cars Land, and I understand. I do have a concern with the theming fit, but again, I'm going to reserve judgment until that opens. So we'll see. And they're going to start the Cars construction in 2025.
So next year as
No
well.
idea when it'll open. We all know how slow Disney is with building things.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff is going to be probably 5-ish years away, maybe a little bit sooner, just depends. But now let's move over to Animal Kingdom. And this was kind of like the worst kept secret. Everybody knew that Dinoland USA was going to get a retheme just based off of permits that were filed, based off of previous teases that they did at the last D23 Parks Panel event. And that's coming in 2027, and it's called the Tropical Americas. It's going to feature 2 IP, that being Coco, as well as Indiana Jones.
Not Coco.
Not Coco, I'm sorry.
Encanto.
Encanto.
I was like, wait.
Encanto and Indiana Jones. And each are going to have their own attraction. And we're going to have the casita from Encanto.
And they did say, like, when you like walk up to it and like see it from the outside, it's gonna feel like it's alive, kind of like the movie. So I'm kind of interested to see like how they're gonna do that. Like, what is it gonna be like?
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. And then Indiana Jones is getting a retheme of the dinosaur attraction, and they did say it's a new ride, a new story, I should say.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a carbon copy of the one that's over in Disneyland.
Yeah.
Which I love, but I think the fact that we're getting our own version is also really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm
because
excited for that.
I don't know about you. I don't know about you guys watching. I'm not a fan of having the exact same things in multiple parks.
Yeah.
I feel like it kind of takes
It's,
away.
like, that's unique to California.
Yeah.
We'll have something unique here in Orlando.
Yeah. Like, as much as I love Radiator Springs in DCA, I don't need Radiator Springs in the Magic Kingdom.
Right.
If I want to do Radiator Springs, I'll go out to Disneyland.
Exactly.
That's just me. But as far as the theming for this one, again, I love Indiana Jones, one of my favorite movie franchises. And Encanto's a great movie. I do think, again, both are a little bit of a stretch when it comes to the fit within Animal Kingdom.
Definitely,
so the tie to an animal for Indiana Jones is, I believe he's going to be hunting or being chased by or something along those lines, like some sort of mythical creature. And there's your like animal tie-in. And then for Encanto, it's what's is his name, Anthony? Or no?
I don't know. The little boy in Encanto can speak to animals. So there's going to be like a ride where, like, you know, that's the tie-in with animals for Animal Kingdom. Again, very much a stretch. So I don't love that it's there, but I also think that Dinoland very much needed a refurb. Like, there's nothing back there.
Yeah.
So I think it'll
And
be...
this is, sorry not to cut you off, but this
Yeah.
is coming from somebody who worked at Dinosaur.
Yeah.
I love the ride,
I know.
amazing memories.
I
but
am going to miss Dinosaur the ride, but everything else there's nothing back there. So
Yeah.
it definitely needed a refurb, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reserve judgment again. We'll
Yeah.
see what they do.
There is also going to be a carousel that is in there.
Oh, I
and
forgot about that.
Each of the figures or things that you sit on are going to be themed to different Disney characters.
Mm-hmm.
They did have Kevin from Up on display on the D23 Expo 4 the day after, and I do really like that he looks worn out, or she looks worn out, weathered.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of fits in with the theme of Animal Kingdom. So I'm excited to see what else is coming to that. And again, I'm going to reserve judgment. That whole area needed a refresh.
Yeah.
Encanto is super popular. Indiana Jones is timeless.
Mm-hmm.
Does it fit within Animal Kingdom? I think that's kind of up for interpretation, because look at Expedition Everest. You know, the ride's based around a Yeti,
Yeah.
which is not a real creature. It's not a real animal, yet people love Expedition Everest. So
Yeah.
I think your interpretation of like whether or not it fits is going to be up to the individual. I personally would have rather seen Encanto here in the Magic Kingdom. I think, and I could be wrong, but I think when they initially were doing like the Blue Sky Beyond Big Thunder,
I think it originally
I think it was supposed to be here.
Yeah, I think so.
something else that is animal based and is coming to Animal Kingdom and is opening in 2025 is the new show at the Tree
Is
of Life.
it opening next year?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep, it's debuting next year, and that's the replacement for It's Tough to Be a Bug. That's the Zootopia, I don't want to say ride, but show that's going to be
attraction.
coming into
Right.
there. And again, when we talk about Animal Kingdom, the theming, all that stuff, I would have loved to see Zootopia. And now I know I just said I don't like things in multiple parks, but from a theming perspective, I do think that Zootopia would have made a lot more sense in Animal Kingdom if they were to do that back where they're doing the tropical Americas.
And
But-
not necessarily the Tree of Life, you're saying?
Yeah, honestly, like for the Tree of Life show, I know like kids kind of got scared of the bugs and whatnot, but that was a perfect show for the location.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
what else is
bugs
underneath
are
the tree?
under the tree,
Yeah. Theming wise, you can't get much better than that.
Yeah. I also think that like kids nowadays don't even really know It's Tough to Be a Bug. Like they don't really
Sadly.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think they really even know those characters, whereas Zootopia is obviously newer and they are, more aware of those characters. Yeah, I'm sad to see It's Tough to Be a Bug go away, but also that's something that we don't do all of the time either.
Yeah.
So, maybe Zootopia will be better.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where I don't think you needed to fix what was there.
Right.
Like it has an amazing animatronic. If you gave the show a refresh,
Yeah.
I think that would have been the better move. I do think Tough to Be a Bug fits better there, but I understand that maybe it's not an IP that a lot of kids know nowadays. So again, that's something that maybe that's just me being nitpicky, but I didn't think they needed to touch It's Tough to Be a Bug. Regardless, doesn't matter what I think, we're getting a Zootopia show in 2025. Now, I believe that is it for Animal Kingdom. Now, as we move over to Hollywood Studios, a couple of things that were announced. They did announce that there's going to be new missions coming to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run, I believe on both coasts, both at Disneyland and Hollywood Studios.
I don't remember if they said that, but
Yeah, I believe it's tying into the new Mandalorian and Grogu movie that's
which
coming
is
out.
not coming out until
2026.
2026.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like we've been saying this since the ride
Since
opened.
day one.
Because it's the same ride every
Yeah.
time. Like they need to incorporate more scenes,
Yeah.
and so they did listen. And it'll be cool to have one with like Mando and Grogu.
I
think.
agree. I've been saying literally from the first day that opened that needs to be like the modern Star Tours. And up until this point, it's been however many years, and they haven't updated it.
Yeah.
Now we're getting an update. But I think I know the big thing that shocked everybody, and I certainly wasn't expecting this,
Me neither.
was the announcement of a Monsters, Inc. land coming to Hollywood Studios with construction beginning in 2025. So no timeline as to when it will be complete. We don't even know
Where it's gonna be.
We don't even know where it's going to be. And according to some of the things I've read online, some rumblings that I've heard, Disney doesn't know where it's going to be yet.
Right.
Now, again, this goes back to Josh D'Amaro saying all of this is in active development, dirt is being moved, things like that. We still don't know with 100% certainty where Monsters, Inc. is going to go. So, take everything with a grain of salt. I'm not saying don't believe what they said, but with everything we've seen over the last few years from the Walt Disney Company and the direction that they've gone on, specifically as it relates to the parks, I'm in the camp of prove it to me.
Yeah.
Let's wait and see. There were 2 pieces of concept art that dropped, and I think really confused people, myself included. We still don't know where this is going to be. One piece of concept art clearly shows Muppet Courtyard.
Yeah, it looks like it's going where the Muppets are. And
Right.
I know people will be in an uproar if they get rid of Muppets.
Yeah.
So
And then there's a second piece of concept art that shows what looks to be Animation Courtyard, which is where Star Wars Launch Bay is, Disney Junior, where the new Little Mermaid show is going to go.
which is an empty shell.
Which
and
is
I feel
nothing.
like that needs to be redone. So in my opinion, I feel like it would fit best over there.
Yeah.
But again, we have to see what Disney does. Also, they announced the ride,
Which
the Monsters
is
Inc. ride.
Sick.
I think not just me, but like a majority of people have been saying they need to make this ride for so long. Like when you're going through the doors, and it is a suspended coaster, so like
Yeah.
your feet are dangling, and I just think it's going to be so much fun. But the problem with that also is, where is that going? Like, what building is that going in? Are they making a new building?
Oh, they are making a new building, no
okay.
doubt. It's just a question of where they're going to put it. Now, that coaster is going to be the first ever suspension coaster
In Disney.
in Disney, so meaning your feet are dangling as you're on the ride. And it's so funny that you said this, and as we were watching it, Disney didn't officially stream it, but we found like somebody that was there. We found their stream, and you were like, I've been saying this for the longest time, like we're finally
have
getting
been,
it.
yeah.
And literally everyone we've talked to has said like, I've been saying this for years.
Yeah.
So
it's like everybody had the same idea.
yeah, it's like
And now it's finally happening.
yeah, the Disney community came together and we all kind of imagineered this one into possibility. So again, we don't know where this is going to go. I do have some thoughts. From a logistics standpoint, and now take this with a grain of salt, I'm a huge Muppets fan, and if the Muppets go away, I will be very upset. Now, the Monsters, Inc. land is going to be really cool, but if they do get rid of the Muppets, they need to put the Muppets somewhere else.
Yeah.
So like
They can't completely get rid of them.
No. So like let's just say in the same announcement that they say Muppet Courtyard's closing, Muppet Vision's closing, we're changing this into Monstropolis. They at the same time need to say, and here's what we're doing with the Muppets.
Yeah.
And otherwise, I think people are going to be not happy about that. But from a pure logistics standpoint, that area of the park is pretty small.
Yeah.
I believe it's only like 2 to 3 acres, which would be a small land. And then on top of that, you have to put in the show building for the coaster. So I don't think that's where it's going to go. Part of me is hoping that's not where it's going to go.
Yeah.
But I think Animation Courtyard would make a lot more sense. And the thing is, people are saying, well, the Little Mermaid show's coming back, and they just announced it's coming back. This is not opening for a few years.
Yeah,
So the Little
so-
Mermaid show can run for, 2, 3, maybe even 4 years. Who knows how
And then
long?
close it.
Close it down, retheme it into a Monsters, Inc. show. And I
And-
think that's probably what they're going to do, but that's just my opinion, and we don't even know.
And also, just looking at the concept art that they released, it looks like a big land.
Yeah.
So, like, I can't see that going where Muppets is, like you said. Like, the Animation Courtyard is definitely a lot bigger of a space, so it just makes more sense in my mind to go over there.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
But either way, we're getting a Monsters, Inc. land that got a huge reaction. Billy Crystal came out and
Yeah.
announced the news, and it's going to be cool. Now, where it goes, what we lose, we'll just have to kind of wait and see. And we'll have to wait and see when this stuff even opens. It's hard to get excited about some of these things, and I'm not trying to be like a negative Nancy or like a Debbie Downer, but it's just hard to get excited about these things when they're so far away.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of how I feel.
But a lot of them, not a lot of them, but a few of them are breaking grounds or like starting next year.
Yeah.
So like, as long as we start seeing progress next year, I think that'll get people more excited.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I think that's it for... oh, no, I'm sorry. A couple quick things. Test Track is opening in 2025, the retheme of Test Track. And we're going to have 2 new lounges coming to Walt Disney World. One being the Pirates of the Caribbean Lounge,
which will be right here.
Which is going to be here at the Magic Kingdom. And then the other one is going to be a Spaceship Earth Lounge, which is probably going to go in the spot of the former lounge above Spaceship Earth.
Yes.
So those are the other things coming to Walt Disney World. A couple of Disneyland related things. California Adventure is getting a Pandora land, or an Avatar land, I should say, that's inspired by the Avatar Way of Water film, as well as future Avatar films. And they're also getting a Walt Disney animatronic, which is going to be amazing.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that. I think I'll probably cry when we do. And it's going to be in, what is it called? The Opera?
The Opera House, yeah.
The Opera House, and it will be like rotating between Walt Disney and Lincoln.
Yep.
So it's not like Lincoln's going away, they're going to be rotating them. So
yeah.
I think that's going to be really cool.
Oh yeah, and that is debuting in 2025. It's going to be called Walt Disney: A Magical Life. And like Alex mentioned, it's going to run in rotation with Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln after its initial debut. So when it first opens, for the first however long, few weeks, a couple of months, whatever, it's just going to be the Walt Disney Show. And then after the initial rush of people wanting to see it, then they're going to rotate it with Lincoln. But that's going to be amazing. Long time coming.
We need to book a trip just to go see that next year.
Well, we're definitely going to D23 2026.
Yeah.
No doubt. I had major FOMO this year.
Yeah, I know. I know.
But that's going to be cool. They're also getting a Coco attraction with construction beginning in 2026 there.
So that'll be a while.
That'll be a while. So it's beginning in 2026 construction, and then you have to wait till they actually build it and everything. I would imagine that's going to be somewhat in the Pixar Pier area. That would be a perfect tie-in for that. We have the opening date for Tiana's Bayou Adventure in Disneyland.
That's going to be November 15th of this year.
This year.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's almost done.
Yeah. And a couple other news as it relates to the international parks, but I don't want to keep this video too long, so we'll save that for another time. But we do need to talk about one more thing. And it's going to be the same thing. Probably the thing we're most excited about,
yes.
honestly. 4 new Disney Cruise Line ships by 2031.
By 2031. That is insane. Like, by 2031, there's going to be 13 Disney Cruise Line ships. I'm not going to be able to keep track of them all.
Me neither.
And now, I mean, we're definitely excited, but we can't say we're going to be able to go on all of them because I think a lot of them are going to be international ships too.
They're going to expand their footprint.
Yeah, they're not all going to be over here. But yeah, so the new ships will be setting sail from 2027 through 2031, and that's when all of the fleet will be done. It's crazy.
It's pretty wild. Like it's amazing that Disney Cruise Line just a couple of years ago was 4 ships. Then they added in the Wish 5. Now we have the Destiny and the Treasure coming. So there's just a lot to keep up with, but it makes sense because cruise line is such a booming part of their business right now. And just the cruise industry in general is so hot.
Yep.
So it makes sense. Now, like, Disney's going to rival, like, Royal Caribbean in terms of, like, number of ships in their fleet. It's going to be cool.
I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to see what they're doing. I already am so excited about, like, the Treasure and the Destiny, like, all the theming with that. I can't wait to see what they do with all the other ones that are coming out.
Yeah. There's a lot to unpack from D23. There was stuff we didn't even get a chance to cover in this video, but we didn't want to make it too long. We wanted to focus predominantly on Walt Disney World, but let us know your thoughts down in the comments below about all the announcements that were made last week at D23, and we will see what happens. Some things might get budget cut, you never know, but we're cautiously optimistic in terms of the future of Disney parks, and I'm excited. I think Disney did what they needed to do.
Yeah.
I think some of the stuff is a little bit too late. In terms of, like, over the next few years, because Universal is going to dominate the next few years in terms of, Epic Universe and amount of time spent in Orlando.
And hopefully Disney steps up their game and, like, quickly does some of this stuff and doesn't take, like, 5 years to build one roller coaster like they did with Tron.
We will see.
We'll see.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts down in the comments below about the future of Disney parks. As always, make sure you give the video a nice big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel down below so you don't miss out on all of our future videos just like this one. And with that being said, we'll see you guys real soon.